Let's start with this.
Just think back. Let me set it up. So just think back last summer. If you're a leftist and all the stuff you were saying about the Joe Biden administration was going to happen, and you had people, no, once we get in, we're going to push them left and this and that. We're going to do these things. Just come along with us. And they vote shamed us. Michelle Obama came out and said, don't throw away your vote. You're going to elect Trump and democracy is going to end. Just keep that in your mind with this next story.
So now you have Biden, despite all the progressive, like all the people saying we're going to push Biden left, we can either be the most progressive president since FDR. No matter the propaganda that come out of the White House, they can't tell people to don't believe their lying eyes. Don't listen to their lying ears. You can't tell people that forever. So people know what's up. Hey, motherfucker, you said we're going to get a $2,000 check. Hey, motherfucker, you said you're going to give a public option. Hey, I thought you said you're going to get this pandemic under control. And no matter where you fall on the COVID culture war, Biden has objectively failed. More people died under COVID-19 under Biden, and he had the vaccine.
That's so ridiculous.
Like, bro, Trump didn't have the vaccine. Biden had the vaccine, and they say it protects you. But more people die under your watching Trump. No matter where you fall on the COVID culture war, that shit, you cannot say he did not fail. Even if you like super pro-vax, super anti-vax, no matter where you stand, the fact is Trump didn't have a vax, Biden had a vax, more people died on Biden. How the hell you fuck up that bad? Anyway, my point is, let me get into this. I don't want to say it too long. So now the Democrats trying to figure out, how do you message this? Now, CJ, feel free to chime in with your thoughts too. How do you message this with the election year coming up? Now, we all know the theory behind it. They don't really give a fuck, but they got at least pretend to try, right? So here's the devastating story. In a nutshell, Biden is more unpopular than Trump was at this point in his presidency. Probably the most unpopular president in modern American history at his point in the presidency. Kamala Harris is by far the most unpopular vice president at this point in her presidency. I think Dick Cheney may have been lower overall, but at this point, she was lower. I gotta look at the exact numbers.
Like Satan reincarnated is the only person that beats Kamala Harris
overall. Like they said, Kamala got reached the low faster. Like she was lower than Dick Cheney was 1 year in. So you got this. I'm not gonna read all this stuff. This pretty much just talking about how Biden's deeply underwater. There was one snippet of information that panicked the Washington liberal establishment. I can't find it exactly in this article, but Biden youth support plummeted. It's like below 35%, which is and when they tracked it, Biden's drop in the youth support was the biggest drop in presidential history. Like the amount of support he lost because young people carried him to victory over Donald Trump, and then he actually had a pretty high approval rate when young people. I remember we covered this, and I was like, "What the fuck is wrong with you people?" They were like, "Remember,
just give it some time."
When he first got in office, you get the first presidential storm, and they're like, "Biden, look at Biden's approval rating." So he actually had a pretty good approval rating, like over 50% with young people. And I was like, "What?" That's just like under 35% now. So now they're fucked because the Republican Party wiped Democrats with older voters and boomers. Biden and Democrats won. They won the Senate because of young voters. The young voters, who we think is pretty naive, Biden told you guys that he had no empathy for you. He literally said that. Why were you guys ever supporting him? But even those people who are not as radical as we are, right? They was like, I think Joe Biden the lesser of two evil. And then not only, the thing is, you got to realize this. These are people who supported Biden, right? So not only did they not think Biden was the lesser of two evils, these are the people who was like, I actually like the Democrat Party. They are losing support for Biden. So the Democrats got to find a way.
So you're saying like the K-Hive people.
Yes.
The K-Hive people is,
guys, in order for his numbers to be as low as it is, he has to lose people who voted for him. That like once you get to like the 30%, you dig into your own support because like presidents start off at like 50%. Now you're in the 30s, bro. You lost like what was that? 1/5 of your support, if I do the math right. That's like 1/5 of your like core support that's just gone. Probably my math is all fucked up. But so what? How do you message this? And there are a lot of reasons why Biden is failing. So Jen Psaki, she might be an MSNBC host.
Oh, here we go.
I'm going to play the video because they're being grilled about their failure.
Didn't Simone Sanders go there also?
Yeah, rats are leaving, fleeing ship. Liberals are so dumb. They saw Jen Psaki leaving the White House to go MSNBC. They was like, "This is great. Jen Psaki's about to slay on MSNBC." No, for real. I literally be stalking liberal Twitter just to see what these motherfuckers be saying. When Jen Psaki went to MSNBC, they thought it was a good thing. But then people was like, "Why are you guys celebrating? This is a horrific sign." Like, people don't leave a successful White House.
Absolutely not.
Like, the fact that people are fleeing the Biden administration, like Kamala Harris lost her like chief. She lost Simone Sanders, and she lost someone else who was high.
Yeah, and that other person that left didn't say good things on the way out either.
So that's not a good sign. But liberals are so serious, like we tell on the show. They're dumb, just like Trump supporters. I want you guys to realize that. They don't even realize that's a bad thing. And Jen Psaki is saying what she says here because she knows the Democratic voters are dumb. So I let the video clip play. You gotta know what I mean when I say that.
So because of the actions we've taken to address the Putin price hike, we are in a better place than we were last month. But we expect March CPI headline inflation to be extraordinarily elevated due to Putin's price hike. And we expect a large difference between core and headline inflation, reflecting the global disruptions in energy and food markets. So core inflation doesn't include energy and food prices. Headline inflation does. And of course, we know that core inflation, energy, the impact of energy, of course, on oil prices, gas prices, we expect that to continue to reflect what we've seen the increases be over the course of this invasion. And just as an example, since President Putin's military buildup accelerated in January, average gas prices are up more than 80 cents. Most of the increase occurred in the month of March, and at times gas prices were more than $1 above pre-invasion level. So that roughly 25% increase in gas prices will drive tomorrow's inflation reading. And certainly it's not a surprise to us, but we certainly think it will be reflected.
Now, guys, I told you. It's so funny to me. When I see stuff like that, that's not Jen Psaki and Biden making the mockery of the American people. I show you the numbers. The American people see through it. That Jen Psaki in the Biden administration saying, "Hey, our supporters are dumbasses who will believe anything we say." You think they're making fun of us? You think they're mocking our intelligence? We see through it. That's them saying our supporters are dumbasses who won't question anything we say. CJ, go ahead.
No, I'm going to piggyback off that because this clip here, if you've ever heard of the GOP war room, they cut clips that talk about bad stuff about the Democrats. Listen to this here. Black, Hispanic, and Asian American voters rejecting woke white Democrats. So they're trying to spin as this going too far left, and that's why we're about to lose in the midterms.
Oh, Jesus.
Yes. So let's listen.
And Rev, I want to talk to you about
Rev, of course, he's the black guy.
That a lot of Democrats.
Right. This is what they do. They trot out a black capitalist to say all the right things for the black workers to hear so that black people can go, "Oh, they're black people and said it, so let's go ahead and go and do it."
I can already tell you about to say the stupidest shit I ever heard in my life.
Just the look on his face, huh? Like that's the look of I'm about to say something that I'm selling out to my community. That's the look that's what I get from that. I haven't seen the video, Nick, so I don't know what he's gonna say. Let's see what he says.
That's in the Beltway in DC have that you don't, and you've been warning about. But let's just say it right here, and let me say it slowly for my Democratic friends in Washington, D.C. Black voters are more conservative than you are. White woke leaders in Washington, D.C.
White? Who is he talking about? What white woke leaders is he talking about?
Bro, CJ, Joe thinks that white America is to our left. We just debunked it. Like, now you guys know why I break down the numbers. Because when I break down the defund the police number, it's the exact opposite.
Yes.
He's trying to say that white people are dragging black people to the left. No, y'all motherfuckers holding us back. But anyway, sorry. Go ahead, CJ.
No, that was a great point. But let's listen more to see what I want to see what Al says. Yeah, I want to see.
Only a few seconds in, and it was already
20 seconds in.
Hispanic voters are more conservative than you are, white woke leaders in Washington, D.C. Asian American voters are more conservative than you are, white woke voters in Washington, D.C. And they're more conservative on crime. They're more conservative on education. They're more.
Dude, I just showed y'all the numbers. I just showed y'all. And y'all, I told you the biggest purveyors of misinformation is MSNBC and CNN. That is a straight up lie. Like, there's no difference between a lie you would see on Sean Hannity and what he just said. If you just joined the stream, rewind like 30 minutes. I literally did a polling that showed the exact opposite. Where whenever they quote the defund the police numbers, the reason why they dilute the overall number is because they oversample white people. Black people, even at the height of them popularity, 3 out of 4 of them support defunding the police. Wonder if Al Sharpton gonna put back on that.
He's not. He never does because he has to keep his show. He has to keep his time slots, so he's not pushing back on them.
Now you guys know why. Now you know why we will never be on this shit. Because as soon as he started, I was like, wait, Joe, what?
What are you saying? What are you saying, Joe? Oh, Joe.
They'll pull
more conservative on quotes. These woke issues.
So this is what they put up, Nick. It says midterm issues for Democrats woke up. I guess I'm trying to put this propaganda together, so you may have to help me. But censoring of conservative voices on social media.
Oh my God!
College campuses becoming liberal echo chambers. The push to be politically correct. Canceling. Now, Nick, think about this, Nick.
Bruh.
This is the liberal station, Nick.
Bruh.
This is the liberal station that they are trying to pull to the right. So people like I was, when I was a liberal, I want to look at the liberal shit. I'm a progressive. So I go to MSNBC, but they're all conservatives feeding me the news. They're all conservatives feeding me the news. And this is a great point here. Look, midterm issues for Democrats, censoring of conservative voices on media. That's issues for Democrats?
Bro, this could easily be a parody. This could easily be some shit that Dave Rubin posts, bro. Like, this is like people think the American people are so propagandized. Well, I'm talking about like Washington group thing. Like they call MSNBC the left station. This could easily be Dave Rubin right-wing culture warrior shit. I can go through every single bullet point and explain why this is stupid as hell. Every single one, I'm like, what? And this is reported on MSNBC. So what did this tell you? I told you guys, the liberals will always accept and agree with right-wing talking points.
Yep.
They will agree with a right-winger social talking points before they will agree with a socialist because they align with them. And when I say that, let me be clear. I'm talking about the MSNBC, like the Mika, like this Weinmann group. You're not winning those over. Like the person who vote for Pete Buttigieg, once again, Morning Joe doesn't have a large audience, but these people are as right-wing as MAGA. They are as unmovable as the most hardcore right-winger you can think of in your head. You have way more in common, and I'm telling you this as someone who lives in the red state. We have way more in common with the average Republican voter that lives next door to you than anybody sitting on this panel, including Al Sharpton. Any of these motherfuckers, we got more in common.
That is true.
Should we even go through all these like censoring? Here, if you don't mind, let me.
Wait, is this serious though? Is this so? Let me just understand. He's saying that stop being woke, and this is the issues that people are into. Is that what he's saying? I'm trying to understand what he's saying.
It's so dumb. I don't even like.
This can't be serious, Nick. This can't be censoring of conservative voices on. That is that is a priority for you.
And look at the framing. Look at the framing. The censoring of conservative voices. Who's been censored? Who's been conservative? I see Sandinistas being censored.
Yes.
I see people who are speaking up against the Ukraine war being censored. Socialists has stayed being censored. Black Lives Matter activists, abolitionists has been censored. This is why I don't join hand with the right-wing populists, because you never see them defend socialists and left-wingers when we are purged from social media. We covered this on our show. Remember in the Nicaraguan elections, how Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter pulled a ton of socialist accounts? Yep. Where was the what was the outcry about media censorship? You notice how MSNBC, they accept the right-wing framing because they benefit from it. So they only want to pretend that it's right-wingers who've been censored on social media. College campuses becoming echo chambers. Guys, Dr. Cornel West was denied tenure for standing in solidarity with the Palestinian people. I'm bringing on this dude's a Marxist professor. And I had a conversation with him. He tells me about, he was like, bro, when you're a Marxist, there's so much pressure for you to conform to capitalist thought. And Richard Wolff talk about this all the time. They said, bro, you can't be a Marxist professor. He openly talked about this story. There in academia, there is no left bias. It's a capitalist imperialist bias. If you look at the most educated people, they are all Zionists. Harvard graduates are Zionists because they are brainwashed through their education institution to be Zionists. But look at what they present.
Which Karl Marx talks about, that schooling is primarily used to indoctrinate you, not for the educational purpose.
Yeah, and just for the sake of speed, we talk about all the time how like our education system actually teaches us bullshit. like they program you capitalist, imperialist propaganda. That's why you see all the elite academic people are all fucking the worst war criminals, right? But look at the information they're saying here. Becoming a liberal echo chamber? And on what grounds?
Are they saying this is the things they want to do? Or are they saying these are the things that...
They're saying that these are like issues. Like,
Jesus, so...
They're saying that
historical figures. So calling out racist people in history, that's what they're talking about when they're saying that? Canceling historical figures.
Yes, now that's the statues culture war. The push to be politically correct. So that's MSNBC's like just conceding to this shit, right? So maybe we should watch the video, finish the video. Let's
listen some more.
Because like this is we're out of pause. I'm like, what is this? Anyway, let's watch it.
Of Twitter.
I'm gonna rewind it by a few seconds just so we can understand the context of that last sentence.
Woke voters in Washington, D.C., and they're more conservative on crime. They're more conservative on education. They're more conservative on, quote, these woke issues. Get off of Twitter. I'm telling you, and Rev, if you look at Biden runs against 15 progressives. Biden's the only moderate. Biden wins. We've said it time and again. Eric Adams runs as a conservative. He wins Brooklyn. He wins the Bronx.
Bro, this is so much propaganda. It's so fast.
There's no way we can get through 30 seconds of this shit. There's no way. It's so much propaganda.
He's so good. Like when I don't watch this shit a lot, but when I watch this shit as a analyst of propaganda, this is a masterclass. Like, this is like Morning Joe is like the Kobe Bryant of propaganda. The amount of propaganda he's fitting in a small amount of time. Every sentence is packed with a reason. Every word he says has a reason.
Almost every word.
That's right. Go ahead, CJ. You can continue, but man,
but listen. But look at this here. True crimes. So the other stuff was woke up, and this is DA in major cities going soft on crime.
That's not true.
Bail reform failure in New York City. Crime spike. Nick, do you see how MSNBC is, by hook or crook, they're fooling their audience, their left audience or their progressive audience, not really leftists that follow it, into a conservative way of thinking. Look at this shit.
This is propaganda too. I told you. I didn't see this segment. I did not see this for the first time. This is every segment they got propaganda in it. Like, bro, I didn't even know. You see how they still had to sneak it in. They still had to sneak it in. What the fuck? They were talking about midterm elections. They still had to find a way to sneak propaganda. Crime spike in San Francisco, bro. California they've been taking COVID money and giving it to the police.
Yes.
Are you serious?
Can't be that. It can't be that bad if they're doing it. But let's see if we can get through. We got another minute. Like we got another minute. Let's see if we can get through this.
God damn, it's crazy.
Bronx. He wins Staten Island. Surprise.
Especially the stuff about Eric Adams winning all of these places because he's conservative.
Yeah, that's another
conservative.
Go ahead.
He wins Brooklyn. He wins the Bronx. He wins Staten Island. Surprise. He wins Queens as a conservative, as a centrist Democrat. Can you please? I know you've done it a lot.
No.
Can you explain to white woke leaders? Can you explain to them that they're not only losing white dudes in the upper Midwest, they're losing people of color?
So Joe Scarborough is saying you are losing people of color because you're too woke. You need to be more conservative, right, Al Sharpton? Tell them that they need to be more conservative. That's essentially what he's trying to say here, Nick.
Do you guys now see why I say why America is the most propagandized country? Like I need to start watching and do these segment breakdown more because I watch corporate media rarely, but I ain't watched more than Joe in particular in a while. But this is, and I'm literally blown away. Like everything they say has a reason. For him bringing Eric Adams, from bringing that little panel. Now you're here to bring him bringing Al Sharpton. He's not
picking things out of the air. He's not picking things out of the air.
That's not actually like he's not like us. Like when we do our streams, like believe it or not, like we got stories, but I don't really know what I'm gonna say about the story. I just know I'm gonna talk about it. Like so, I'm kind of riffing. Nothing he says, I promise you guys, nothing that he just said in the last 2 minutes.
Right.
Everything was written down. Everything was planned carefully for the segment. There's no way it hasn't been. Either that or he's just a naturally great propaganda.
It's a propaganda tactic, Nick. It shows your sophistication that if I'm trying to propagandize about this, and I've already told you I've already given you propaganda about this. So I've already propagandized. So I'm talking about this, but I'm throwing side shit in about this. That's solidifying this shit I told you about. You get what I'm saying? That's what he's doing. He's telling you this, but he's also solidifying other propaganda he's already talked to you about. This guy does it very well.
This shit is crazy to watch, man.
Yeah,
let's continue. This is crazy.
Let's finish
we didn't even get to Sharpton yet. We didn't get to Sharpton. This is gonna get
30
real
seconds. He has the last 30 seconds, and that's gonna get real. I find that funny that the most of it is this guy. But let's 30 seconds right here.
They're losing people of color because they really don't get the people of color's life. If you are living in a city, in a neighborhood that is inundated with crime, and you act like that is not an issue, you've already lost me. I
can't believe
he's pretending.
I gotta pause it here because of all the parents' homes, all the families, this guy want to show his fucking face anytime somebody gets shot so he can get the credit as the person being there. This guy. You got the fucking audacity, Nick. He has the fucking audacity to come up here and push propaganda. He has the audacity to come up here and say this about you're inundated with crime. So you're not going to take the opportunity of how people are committing crime because of their economic situation. That's what you're doing, Al Sharpton. Let's listen more. But I can't believe this guy has come far, and not a good way.
Now you know why we call these people out. You know why we call the black capitalists out. What we tell you. My quick point. We get back to video. The reason why me and CJ in Rome started a Black Network because the opinions you guys have heard on RBN has been seen nowhere. I'm telling you, if they keep putting these black capitalist scumbags like Al Sharpton and Bing Dixon and Tim Black, and then they put them at these are the black radical opinions. You guys have not gotten it until now. RBN, and we've been a shock to the political conscience. And the reason why we had to do this, because we noticed our voice has been shut out of the political equation. Al Sharpton is our representative. Charles fucking Booker is the guy. They're like, he's a young black radical. What? No, then you never heard from Black Marxists until we had a channel. So we can continue to clip. I hope that's clear. Now that you guys see the role of Sharpton and these people that they actually platform.